Oh, hey, oh.
Hello again, friends, and welcome to another edition of UNB Live, your community, your issues, your show. My name is Bob Price, alongside Upper Nicola Band Communications Officer Diana Boston.
Bob, in the interest of safety, because travel conditions might not be so great, we are going to be doing this via Zoom for the next few months.
Safety first, and Diana, this today is going to be a very special show indeed. For the first time, we actually have two guests coming up. UNB Administrator Collette Sunday to bring us all the exciting details surrounding the annual UNB Christmas Trees fundraiser. We're also looking forward to getting to know UNB health nurse Terri Stockwell without actually needing her, and that's a good thing. But first, we do have a little bit of housekeeping to take care of, and for that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Diane.
أهلك وشوي ونوم أهلك.
Well, Bob, just a reminder to band members that we have the community Christmas party coming up. It'll be on December 8th. Deadline is today, November 27th. So get your registrations in because on December 8th, 9:30 a.m. is breakfast. 11:30 we'll have a magic show. And then Santa's going to be there at 12:30 for all the kids. And just a reminder, we still need firewood collectors. And oh yeah, they shoot, they score. Buzz did a really good recap of the camp that we had in September, and they are actually going to redo it again. They've already started planning for next year. So we are hoping to get more than the 78 participants that we had this previous year.
Yeah, no, the age of those participants at that Augie camp, from 4 right up to 17. So we have budding stars for the future. Thank you, Diana. Not one, but two interviews in this special edition of UNB Live. Oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches, not only green in summer's heat.
But also in winter snow and sleet. UNB band administrators coming up next.
أهلك وشوي ونوم أهلك.
Well, you know, as Christmas fundraisers go, this has to be one of the most successful. Oh, just wait a second here. Hold on, because we have to get into the spirit. Okay, now that's better. It's UNB Christmas trees. Band administrator Collette Sunday. Tell us about the roots of these trees. How did this event come to pass?
All right. Why Halt? Nice to be here again with all of you here. So I was just doing a rough calculation, just writing down some numbers here on the side here. So I believe it was 2017 when we first had our first Christmas tree enchantment here at Upper Nicola, and 2024 will be our sixth time hosting the event, this fundraiser. And where this idea came from was from my husband's community, Mohawk community called Akwesasne. So it is a unique First Nation community in which they are their lands are within two states, Canada and U.S., and so they're within New York State, Quebec, and Ontario. So it was in Snai, Quebec, where they've been hosting this for over 20 years. So when I actually lived there, I volunteered there, and I said, "This is such a wonderful idea. I wonder if we could borrow this." So I talked to some of the organizers and said, "Would you mind if we took this idea and ran with it out here in the West, here in Upper Nicholas, so we could raise funds for some of the programs that need those extra bits of funding?"
Ah, the highest form of flattery, isn't it? So, how many Christmas trees are we talking about that we're going to be putting up for with all the tickets once they begin?
Okay, so advertised as 17, but we've actually got 19 trees. We
Wow.
brainstormed a couple extra, and so we are going to have 19 trees available for people to come out and check out and purchase your lucky ticket to see if you can be the lucky winner for one of these 19 trees.
So, where and when can people get their tickets for the Enchanted Trees? And when will it be set up for community to come and join?
Okay, so starting on Friday, uh, December the 6th, 10 a.m., doors will open up at the Colshana Church, otherwise known as the Lady of Our Lord's Church. So if you were to put Google Lady of Our Lord's Church, Colshana, British Columbia, that's where we're going to be. So it's located at the junction of Highway 5A and Douglas Lake Road. So starting on Friday, the 6th of December, running until Sunday, the December 15th. Ticket sales will be on until 1 o'clock. That's if tickets are still available then.
FYI, in the past, tickets have sold out. So do not waste a minute to get your tickets. I would suggest be there on Friday and make sure you get your tickets because we have sold out and there's so many amazing prizes.
How many tickets are we talking about? Are
So
available?
this year we have printed 70,000 tickets. 70,000. So last year we sold out when we hit the 55,000 mark. So
We
this
had
year we printed a few more.
I would
Okay.
say last year we had to print more.
Yeah, yeah.
Collette, can you give us any hints as to some of the themes of the trees this year?
Oh yeah, definitely I can do that. Our planning committee has been quite busy in getting all the trees and all of the prizes under the tree. So back again is going to be the living room tree. A new tree that's upcoming this year is going to be the Calgary Stampede tree. So can you imagine if people want to take a trip out to Calgary to check out the Calgary Stampede? We're going to have some prizes to go along with that. Again, we're looking at having a deep freezer tree, a tool tree where we're going to have a lot of tools, handy tools for anybody that likes to do yard work. There's going to be a chainsaw under there. There's a lot of things for the garage. A new tree that we're um, coming forward with this year is going to be called the Gamers Tree. So if you are a gamer, come and check that out. For all the women and others that like to go check out to have a weekend getaway, we're going to have a weekend getaway tree. We're going to have gift certificates to check out one of the beautiful resorts in the Okanagan, spa gift certificates to go along with that. Uh, Further, we're going to have a washer and dryer. Who needs a new washer? Who needs a new dryer? So there's going to be a washer and dryer Christmas tree, along with a boys tree, a girls tree, a women's tree. Oh, one of the most favorites in our neck of the woods is the ice fishing tree. So if you have that cold winter wind, who wouldn't want to have a shelter, automated or motorized auger to go with that? We are looking at a really awesome tree called the Outdoor Adventure Tree. So this year it's going to be exciting, the Outdoor Adventure. So underneath that tree is going to be two tickets that have been provided to us from the Base Coast Festival. So two locals tickets to the Base Coast Festival along with an e-bike. So that's going to be something special to check out. A sports tree. So if you're the sports fanatic, we're going to have some sports gear available as well as Canucks tickets there. So there an upcoming game in January 25. There's going to be two tickets to head out to the Vancouver Canucks. Popular again is the gift card tree. So we're going to have a number of gift cards available. So if people can need to get out there and do some shopping for their Christmas, for their family and friends, we're going to have those gift cards available under that tree. Who doesn't like the following two? A money tree. I think it's $1,000 under a tree.
Oh, it really does grow on trees.
Cold hard cash. And then we have the lotto tree. So a lot of people are um, pretty enthused about the lotto tree. Double your money there, definitely if you're the lucky one. And this year we have a couple of other new ones that we're bringing in. The custom team of the grandmothers group here at Upper Nicola, they are putting their own tree in. So there's going to be some handcraft items from the community that they've been working on. And so there's going to be some other lovely items under that custom team tree. And then finally, the last two, we are looking at a grocery tree and a fencing tree. So not only fencing posts, but also rails to go along with it. So if people want to do some fencing in their yards in the Nicola Valley or beyond, that's going to be one of the tree themes as well. So that kind of wraps up the 19 themes that we have for all of the trees that we're getting ready to put out for display here next week.
Okay, so once again, when and where for ticket sales?
Okay, starting on Friday, December the 6th at the Colshana Lady of Our Lord's Church. We will be open for 10 days straight. Friday and Fridays, we're going to be open till 8 p.m. So 10 a.m. opening every day from December the 6th and closing on the 15th. On Fridays, we're open till 8. Other days, we're open till 6. The last day of sales closes at 1 o'clock, December 15th, 1 p.m. And we will start doing the draws at 1:15 p.m. on December 15th for the 19 lucky winners.
Terrific. Administrator Collette Sunday, thanks for doing this. Thanks for getting us all excited. This is going to be a great event again, as usual. Thank you.
Right on. Thanks a lot.
It is a gift that you can help give yourself. Good health. Terri Stockwell and our second interview coming up next.
أهلك وشوي ونوم أهلك.
Our next guest, unfortunately, often sees us at our worst. We are so incredibly pleased to welcome UNB health nurse Terri Stockwell to UNB Live. Terri, thank you for finding some time for us out of your hectic schedule to come on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Terri, tell us a little bit about yourself and the road that you have traveled to your current role with the Upper Nicola Band. And I say road because I know that you actually started your healthcare journey as an ambulance attendant.
That's correct. Yes. Again, thank you very much for having me. My name is Terri Stockwell. As mentioned, I am a registered nurse. I actually grew up in Salmon Arm. I wasn't born there, but I was raised there. And I became an ambulance attendant actually in high school and started riding as third and knew healthcare, but didn't know where exactly was where I wanted to be. I was an ambulance attendant off and on for almost 10 years actually, because I'd come back during nursing school and work in the summer months as an ambulance attendant. Very interesting profession for sure. Taught me a lot of great on the scene care and traumas and a bunch of different things. But I always knew I wanted to do something a bit more. And I think after being almost first on the scene for most accidents, I knew I wanted to be in the hospital settings or community settings where I could do more hands-on. And eventually, I decided that nursing was where I wanted to be. Now, after I finished and graduated from high school, worked on the ambulance for a bit, I decided I was going to do as my parents, my older brothers, and start some traveling. And I moved to Thailand, actually. I lived in Thailand for about 2.5 years. And my entire family had visited a family in Thailand where we all taught some English. But I also, their son, an amazing, amazing person, had his own elephant. And he would deliver medicine up to the remote hill tribes in northern Thailand. I quickly jumped on that opportunity and I eventually had my own elephant as well. So I had my own elephant Boo, and we would do these big treks in the jungle in northern Thailand. And again, another incredible experience. We did get hunted by headhunters one time because we kind of lost our way, our guide. And a very remote hill tribe, there were the long necks. You may have seen that on TV. They have the jewelry and extends their neck. Never been seen by a Caucasian before, and they had never seen one either. And so that was pretty memorable. Once we got out of harm's way and out of that danger with the headhunters, we got to sleep outside the camp and really got welcomed by their tribe. And so I can go on and on about that because it was quite an amazing experience. Then I had to come home and apparently, go to school and start looking at my career and stuff. And I knew by then that I wanted to be a nurse. And I have to say, I've been nursing for close to 30 years now, and it is still my favorite job. I truly love what I do, and to be with people in the community, hospitals, long-term care facilities, it's something I thrive in for sure. Once I came back from Thailand, I did apply into nursing school into UVic, and at that time they offered a satellite program through Williams Lake. I chose to actually go to Williams Lake because it was a smaller campus, more hands-on, and more opportunity for myself to go to more remote places to practice and train for nursing. So that's exactly what I did in Williams Lake. It was a degree program, so I did get my degree in that, but I still wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do in nursing because I wanted to do everything. At that time, one of my classmates was from Smithers, and she had said to me that, why don't you come up to Smithers? I was young, I was single, so why not? I loved the skiing and the backcountry, a beautiful place. And I came across a physician in Smithers who asked if I would be a helicopter nurse with him. So for almost 2 years, maybe a bit more, I was a helicopter nurse and first responder up in Smithers. Again, quite an experience, amazing experience. Talk about getting some great skill set, because in some cases it would be me and the pilot, if there wasn't a doctor available at that time, me, the physician, and the pilot. And I still distinctly remember we had an unfortunate heart attack in one of our remote First Nation communities. And it was dark, and we don't typically fly at dark, but this was becoming quite an emergency. And the community member said, look for the light waving in the background. That's where you land. So we're both looking and trying to find, and it was dark, it was stormy, and we could see this light. We're pointing to it. And as he kind of, comes down to do the landing, we realized it was a TV in one of the front rooms of someone's house. And I'd never, gone on such a big, sharp climb like that before in my entire life, and I loved every minute of it. And it was such a rewarding experience. However, saying that, I was also a very, very long ways from home, and again, as my parents age and that, I knew I needed to get closer. And so after my stint in Smithers, reluctantly, I did return back to the Williams Lake area, and I worked in ICU, Emerge, and all those good places. Landed in 100 Mile House because I met my husband. We're both from Salmon Arm, but he's in forestry and got a job in 100 Mile. And I vowed I wouldn't go to 100 Mile, but 10 years later, I was still in 100 Mile. And it was probably one of my most rewarding experiences ever, because it is a small hospital, but big. We had 4 surgeons, we had 3 anesthetists, we had ICU, we had pediatric maternity, we had everything. And so your skill set just blossomed when we were in 100 Mile House. And it's amazing the skill set that I got from there. Not only did I work in those numerous settings, but I started to have children, and I knew I wanted to be a little bit at home and be with them as well. And I took on a community health role where I was a long-term care assessor, home support supervisor, and home care nurse. And so I got a real big background, not only in the acute care settings, but also in community settings. I decided I needed to spread my wings a little bit, and I did actually take a job in Vancouver at Vancouver General in St. Paul's, because I wanted to see what the cities and what their hospitals were like, and what supports they had and the teams that they had, because it's very different from rural. And again, the skill set I got was outstanding. Then we moved to Merritt, and again, 5 years was our max. Eventually get closer into the Okanagan. It's been 18 years now that I have been in Merritt. I do not see us leaving. It's been a whirlwind as far as job opportunities and experiences. I started at home and community here in Merritt as well. Again, doing long-term care, home care nursing, hope support, supervising, etc. And then I got recruited into the management role at Gillis House, which is a 74-bed extended care facility in Merritt. I was the manager in Merritt for close to 12 years. And I knew at some point there needed to be somebody new in there with fresh ideas and new things. And I also want to get back to hands-on and being a nurse. either in the floor, in the community, with colleagues, with patients and their families, with community members and their families. And I missed it and I craved it. And it brought me back into First Nations, where I kind of started off because I did a bunch of contracts in 100 Mile House for White Feather in Canham Lake, where I taught the care ed course and did some nursing out there too. And I wanted to get back to that. And I ended up at Upper Nicola. And it has been amazing. I'm beyond grateful. The tradition is just mind blowing, and I'm learning so much just from tradition. And I had some really good mentors prior to this role. Lily Ned, for one, and Milla Woods, and they run a tight ship. And I was very fortunate to walk into such a well-run place. And so I've been in now with Upper Nicola Indian Band. It'll be 2 years in February. It's a large role. It's a very big, I'm the only RN. And so when I say public health, I kind of push that a little bit to the side because I'm not trained as a full public health nurse. So what I mean by that is immunizations. I do not do childhood infant immunizations. It's quite a specialty, and I really feel a dedicated nurse specifically and only for that is invaluable, because it's quite complex. And so I do dabble a bit in that. But again, there's an elder focus that we're looking at and trying to meet the needs of the community members, because we had COVID for 5 years where we had no nurses. We had one care aide working, Maple Manuel, who did an outstanding job managing the community and its members, and there was no one else. So when I first started, it was number one, getting to know the community, building a trusting relationship, having people know who I am and what it is that I do. And so that takes a lot of time and energy, and it's certainly well worth it. And so I focus a lot on the elderly, but it goes way beyond that.
And let me just interject here. So predominantly your role with Upper Nicola right now, you are very, very hands-on. You're
Extremely
meeting
hands-on.
a lot of home visits and the like.
My current patient load is almost 80 clients right now, 80 members. And so it's very rare that I get many office days, which is good and bad, of course. I'm usually with my team, and I only have 2 other teammates, Maple Manuel, my care aide, as I mentioned, and Joan DeGray. That's it for us as the direct nursing health team. And so I work very, very closely with them. I'm a true believer in hands-on. If I have to go in and help with dishes because I'm eyeballing somebody who is sick, that's exactly what I do. And there's purposes why I do that. And so being hands-on is crucial. And to get to know the people and for them to get to know you, it's essential. I
Diana?
love what I do.
So
Yeah.
you obviously been here more than 5 years, and you said you're never going to leave. So what are the most pressing health issues that are facing Upper Nicola Band right now?
For me, at the very beginning, of course, with the COVID, it was who needs to be seen. I know there's a lot of members out there, and I know there's still more out there that I still need to visit. First of all, is finding out what is it that the members need? What is going on in the community? There is considerable amount of diabetes, considerable amount of heart and cardiac issues. And so it was to get familiar with who are those people and start getting out there. And you can't get out there from behind a desk in my profession. It is visibly getting out there into the homes and trying to meet at the community gatherings as well. And so that they know that you're taking a part and interest into their communities. And so rarely am I at a desk, except for meetings, etc. You'll see me more in the company car, cruising around and stopping in and multiple people and working with my team as well.
You know, I mean, nursing healthcare in itself is one crisis after another. We had COVID, and in the midst of COVID, of course, we've had the opioid situation, that crisis, and it's one thing after another. Now we have these constant ER shutdowns at the Merritt Hospital. At times, it has to be almost overwhelming.
Absolutely. I think now with COVID, and I don't want to say slowing down because that's never the right terminology, but with the immunizations out there and with people having more of an understanding what COVID is and prevention, et cetera. Not that we could ever table that, but our focus definitely shifts definitely to the opiate crisis, but also locally with our merge closures, pardon me, it creates a whole new set of barriers and issues as well. And again, it's certainly happened with me at work when I've had to send people into the hospital for numerous reasons. Never before do I remember having to check to see if the hospital was open or not. And again, it's problem solving, going, okay, if this hospital isn't open, what critical thinking do I need to do to ensure that they're getting safe and fast care, depending on what's going on? And so not only do I feel it, but the people in the communities feel it as well. There's that fear out there. Will I get seen? Will there be a doctor? Will there be a hospital? Where do I go? And do I have the transportation to make it as far as to Kamloops or Kelowna or one of the bigger centers where their hospital could be open? So it is a very concerning issue. It's a big issue, and it's going to be one that we're going to have to be addressing for quite some time now. I don't see it ending anytime soon, but I'm sure hoping that there'll be some changes.
Terri, for the uncertainty that is the current reality, is there anything that Upper Nicola Band members really need to know when they seek healthcare attention through your office?
Yeah, for sure, Bob. Um, Anyone can make a referral to home and community or to myself, nursing, or to any of my coworkers. Anyone can make a referral. It can be anonymous if you don't want to share your name or have any of that information given out. And so when that information comes to me, then I make a plan with my team. It's all about teamwork. Um, and discussing it as a team. And again, I'd like to bring in the rest of the office in there. With the rest of the team, we're usually overlapping with some of our members too. And so a typical day, if the referrals come in and or there's a concern with a community member, I'm often looking in that building to say, okay, have you been able to meet them in the social program, Becky? Monica, has there been many phone calls regarding this member and concerns from the family? With Maple and Joan, okay, how are we going to cohesively tackle this together and provide the care that we need to provide? And Dwayne and Emily are great supports in saying, go for it, Terri, we trust you. I'm also very lucky to have Deb Boston and Patrick Lamar in there that help with the addictions and the counseling to the social programming with the members, because I like to be a part of that stuff because that's where I see people. Um, Daily, we meet as a team. Who are our top priority people? Who's more sick right now in the eyes of myself? Where do we need to be putting that time, and how is that going to look over the next week? Because I can have my schedule for the day, it can change within 5 minutes. And so you have to be extremely flexible. You have to think on your feet, and you have to work very tight as a team. And I'm very fortunate. I have amazing coworkers, amazing health office, and then branching it into the band office where I'm still trying to get to know people, but we're all in this together and have a story regarding our members and the community.
Terri, just quickly, if you don't mind, do you have some goals for the Upper Nicola Band when it comes to healthcare?
Yes, absolutely. I'm very anxious and eager to get started on women's health. I've done a considerable amount of training with women's health in regards to just annual PAP exams. Actually, it's every 3 years, depending what's going on, cervical cancer screening, et cetera. And it is a passion and a goal of mine to get that open and going for Upper Nicola Indian Band, which I would do out of the Upper Nicola Indian Band Health Center. And so that's a huge undertaking, and it's something I'm extremely passionate about. I think it's a huge need in most communities, but particularly with young girls and not wanting to see maybe a male doctor or go to a doctor, period. And so it's a huge need in the communities, and I'm very, very excited to get that going. I also want to spend more time in the schools. We currently do. My coworker and I spend a fair bit of time with education and health discussions within the schools. I need to do that a bit more. I'd like to get into that a bit more as well. So those two alone on top of your client load and working together as a team is a lot, which is phenomenal. I love it all. And I'm hoping to only expand in this and really bring a lot back to the community. And I also just want to mention flu and COVID. I am doing immunizations. We didn't do a big call out this year because we just don't have the people to help us with all of that call out. I'll be doing pop-up clinics. I'm also available. Please call the office before you just show up because I am out a lot. And so if I know in advance that you want to come in for your flu, COVID, or one or the other, not a problem. I just need to make sure I'm there so that when you show up, I can give you those immunizations.
Fantastic catch. Good point to point out. Thank you. Terri Stockwell, UNB health nurse. You've made us all smarter today, Terri.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Terry.
أهلك وسوقنا أهلي هاي تمهو.
And that's going to do it for this edition of UNB Live. Thank you again to our two special guests, Band Administrator Collette Sunday talking Christmas trees, along with UNB health nurse Terri Stockwell. And Diana, what's next?
Well, Bob, we're going back to school again. We will be talking with Opal Charters and Cindy Tom Lindley and take a look at the inside of Nicola School.
So until we meet again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell your friends about UNB Live. Remember, more is merrier. Stay safe, everyone.
أهلي هاي تمهو لا هاي